Hello guys, welcome to my second part of the quilting block. I'm trying to set it up the video so that we can, there's my room in the background, go on the machine and you can actually see it. So I'm going to put it so you can see the machine, and sorry if it's going to be noisy, but that's just how it's going to go. We need to do a fair bit of like machine quilting, so I'm trying to have it so that you can see it. Now what you need on your machine here, I've got a tape here, I've got just a normal foot, and you sew everything quarter of an inch. Here is actually a quarter of an inch foot. Don't know if you can see that. When you actually put it on there, it has a guide and gives you, so you just replace this foot with the quarter inch foot. I used to use that one. Oh, here we go. Oh, I hope it's not going to be too bright. There we go. So we've just got it on. I'm going to put it maybe on two, make it small stitches. So what we do, hopefully you've gotten your little pieces. Oh, it's actually quite bright. See if we can fix that up so it's not so bright. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, now I'm just going to show you quickly. So you get your, here's your quilting pattern. So you work with the center and you figure out how you want to have it. I might have to turn it off. There we go. So that's the centerpiece. Okay, so I'd like to have maybe the flowers going a certain way. Yeah, maybe that. Okay, so you get the smallest piece, and I've put them in there so that the smallest piece is, they're all 1 inch by 1.5. Okay, I'll get a little bit here. So what we're going to do is you sew this along here like that. Put it the right sides together. And we just give it a sew so that I've got the line on there that is 1/4 inch. Don't worry about going back and forth. I think I have to have the light on, sorry, in order for it to work. Sew it straight, and then we cut that off there. Now I've got my iron next to me, and look, you know, I've been sewing for years, and look, this still happens. Don't worry about it. See how it's got all this gathery crap all over at the back? Don't worry. So we go to the iron. I don't know if you can see it. We always iron. Okay. I think you can sort of see where I'm doing it. Okay, now you iron that down. That's why you sort of sew iron. So that's that way. This is what our finished piece looks like. I might even put that there. Okay, so we might go that way. Then we get this part, and that's, see, this is why you've got to sew in a really proper way. Can you see that? Because that's being sewn 1/4 inch, this one will fit. So it does have to be 1/4 inch width, which is usually, there's a marks on your machine for that. Okay, we're going to sew that down. Okay, then cut that off. Cut this little bit off. Go to the iron. And you iron that down. Here we've got that little piece. Oop, there you go. So that's the first part. Okay, got that. Then we get the next part. So I've got them all in order, so the best way to do it. So the next part is this. And see how this has got a little bit of a chunk out of it? It's all good. So this is why we need to iron and sew at the same time. Now I'm going to pre-warn that when I go back to the table, hang on a minute, it may be another part, because I might see if I can get my son to edit it for me and put the two parts together. So if I find when I put it in this thing, it doesn't always, you know, come when I stop it or whatever, and I'll try and take it out, it stops. Drives me nuts. Okay, so let me sew that bit together, 1/4 of an inch. There's always a line on the machine here. I'm just using, I tend to use I just use Quilting thread. It's always, when you're doing quilting, tend to use a good thread. Okay. Bit of iron. Now, rule of thumb. See, this is when you've got a checker pattern that does tend to look a little bit weird. Is you iron towards the dark. So iron towards the outside in this case. All your little bits on the back, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we go and do this side. So we're going to put, I would like that part there, so we're going to sew that down there. So you do, when you do this in a bigger format, you know, it is a bit bigger. I'd probably, if you're going to do a bigger quilt, like, or a placemat or whatever, maybe a cushion, you'd probably have 2-inch blocks. And so that goes there, and this one, that goes on that side, and then this one goes on the bottom. Okay. So what even though it's a bit monotonous, I'll show you how to do it. See, look at this. Obviously I may not have gone in 1/4 of an inch on one of them. So sometimes the material stretches. I'm going to stretch to make it fit a little bit, or come in a little bit. There we go. Hang 10, my son. Oop. Okay, I'm back again. I just finished sewing it, and see, this is what happens if you don't sew perfectly. It gets shorter. So what I might do is I'm going to pause it. So this is that bit done. Okay, so I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to go over to my desk.